Hello, YouTube. Sir Dragon X here. Today, I think we need to have a serious conversation about social media and facts versus misconceptions. In the video coming up next. Just recently, I ran into a Facebook post of an expat service that offers driver's license and car registration assistance. This individual was posting not to believe clickbait YouTubers about carrying original immigration documents. He even went on to back up this post by sharing the experience of a couple whose apartment was robbed and they lost their immigration documents. His thinking was to keep your immigration documents secure because it's almost impossible to replace your residency card. He even then goes on to suggest to get a driver's license to replace your residency card in case you're stopped by immigration. Well, it turns out that he had a vested interest in this. He actually does expat services to get your driver's license. Before we start getting into this serious conversation, I want to remind you to subscribe to this channel. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the content. It really helps me get the word out on YouTube. Now, this brings me to having a very serious conversation. I know with the advent of social media, it's very easy to look up information, but sometimes that social media can be to our detriment, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, whatever social media platform. It's real easy to click, ask a question, but then we also have some problems that are associated with that. What do I mean by this? Well, you see, on social media and on the internet, there's what I call two types of information. It's information that we believe to be true and information that are actual facts. It comes down to two things. It's what you believe versus what you know. For example, we all know that there's a speed limit when we're driving down the road, but we believe that we're not going to get caught, so we speed anyway. What's my point with all of this? What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to give you several examples of what we believe versus what's actual fact. The reason why I'm doing this video and giving you an example of what we know versus what we believe is to show you that there's a lot of decisions that you're going to have to make when you come here to Mexico. All these decisions are personal decisions. It's not for me to tell you what to do. It's for you to gather the information that you need to make an informed decision and know the consequences of your decision. Now, let's go over what we believe about Mexico and what we actually know about Mexico. Actually, that is what causes misconception. Misconception can be caused by what we believe versus what we know. The first example I'm going to give, which prompted this video, is losing your residency card. What we believe is there's a possibility of getting robbed, therefore losing our original immigration documents, and those documents are going to be so hard to replace that we would rather secure them at home. Another belief that we have about losing our immigration documents is that we're going to get deported or we'll lose our residency. Now, I just gave an example of two extremes. On one side, if you lose your residency card, it's going to be so difficult to replace it that I need to keep it secure. On the other side, the belief is that if I don't have my residency card, I'm going to get deported or even lose my residency. The actual facts are, and what we know, is that it's somewhere in between. If you're not carrying your residency card, yes, immigration can detain you. There's even a possibility that immigration will let you go. There's no black and white answer here. What I believe and what I know are two different things. And actually, what I know lays in the middle. So what do I do? Now, you have to make a decision whether you're going to carry original documents. You have this belief on one side and a belief on another side, but actually the truth lies somewhere in between. So what do I do? Well, there's no advice that I can give you. Every situation is different. And you know what? You have to make that personal decision. For example, my personal decision is to carry my documents with me all the time. You see, I know the consequences of not carrying my documents. And I've actually seen the detention facilities that you can be detained in. So I choose to carry my documents, and if I get robbed or if I lose my documents, I'll go through the inconvenience of replacing my documents. I also know that replacing my documents is not as hard as it used to be. Most times you walk out with your card the same day in some I&M offices. For me, that's a personal decision. I personally weighed whether I wanted to lose my documents or be detained. I would rather lose my documents. For some people, that may be different. There's nothing wrong with taking either decision, but what you need to do is know the consequences of taking that decision. For example, I choose not to be detained, and I know that if I get robbed and I lose my documents, I'm going to go through the inconvenience of replacing my card, and vice versa. I know that if I don't carry my documents, I'll be detained. So it's kind of a choice that I personally made and I'm more comfortable with. So in the end, it's a personal decision, and in the end, it's up to you. Another example I'm going to give is safety here in Mexico. There's a big argument of, is Mexico dangerous? On one side, we believe it's real dangerous because of the cartels, the drug violence, and everything else. And on the other side, we believe it's safe because if you're not involved in cartel violence, then don't worry, you should be safe. Again, the answer lays somewhere in the middle. We know that there is cartel violence. When I say the answer lays somewhere in the middle, it actually does, because some of the places that people cross are at times safe and also at times not too safe. You see, if we practice good safety measures and we actually do our research, we can make sure that we can ensure our safety no matter where we cross. Another argument that I always get is if Mexico's getting so tough on the immigration, they're going to lose our revenue. Well, you see, there's this belief that people that come from foreign countries hold up the economy. But there's another belief that there's too many foreigners coming into this country and Mexico doesn't want them. But once again, the answer lays somewhere in the middle. Here's a fun fact. Did you know that Mexico is ranked number 15 in world economies? Actually, Mexico is poised to make the top 10 in economies, number 8 to be exact, within the next 20 years. Here's another fun fact about Mexico's economy. Mexico's economy is not based on consumerism. Therefore, people spending money here is not what holds up the economy. Something that's even more interesting is that those people that come here and live on $1,000 a month are actually subsidized by the economy. So therefore, you actually cost the government money. You're not helping the economy. But you see, even though I just said that you're not helping the economy, yes, you're not helping the government's economy. You may be helping the local economy. Do you see where I'm coming from, that the answer lays somewhere in the middle? And I'm going to give you a personal example of my beliefs that have nothing to do with expat living in Mexico. I believe that I'm size large, and I also believe that I'm size extra large. But the actual answer lies in between, because it depends on what clothes I wear. So if I have a certain brand of t-shirt, it's an extra large. And if I have another brand of t-shirt, it's a large. And for the sake of making this video short, I'm just going to sum it up with this. We get so caught up in our beliefs that we don't look at the middle. We always look at one side or another. The problem that I see with social media is that a lot of times people will ask a question, and of course, you'll get 100 different answers. Well, in order to keep this video short, I don't want to beat a dead horse. So here's the deal. What you need to understand is that when you go on Facebook and ask a question, you're going to get 100 different answers. But you've got to remember that those answers are based on beliefs, opinions, and personal experiences, not necessarily facts. What you need to do is you need to sift through those personal experiences, those beliefs, those opinions, and those facts, and come up with a good strategy to make an informed decision. Also, you need to look at the person that's giving you the facts. What is their ulterior motive? You need to understand that many people make businesses out of expat services. I'm not putting down expat services. And as a matter of fact, I endorse expat services, and I even suggest that you utilize expat services. But what I am telling you is be careful to sift through the information that they give you to make an informed decision. And the truth is that nobody here in Mexico is an expert. Yes, I've worked with the Mexican government. Yes, I've lived here for several years, but I'm no expert. I can give you my experience, and I can give you the facts that I know to help you make a decision. And that is my hope, is that you will gather the facts, not just based on what I tell you, but gather the whole picture. It's like a big picture that you can make a decision that you are comfortable with and you are willing to accept the consequences. Just remember, no matter what decision you make, it will have consequences. It's up to you to decide which consequences you are willing to accept. Now, I gave you multiple examples, but you want to know something? Like I said, there's no black and white answer when it comes to moving to Mexico. Many of us come from a culture where everything's black and white. It's either legal or illegal. It's either this or that. But you need to understand that Mexico doesn't really work that way. And that's one of the things that you're going to have to adjust to. And you're also going to have to make a lot of decisions. That decision is yours. It's not for me or anybody else to tell you what to do. Hopefully, this gives you a new perspective on how to make decisions when you move to Mexico. Hope this information was useful, and see you soon.